Hey guys, welcome back to another Draw with Sandy. Today we'll be drawing this cute little cup of cocoa. So to begin our drawing, I'm just going to roughly mark out the shape with a pencil, starting with a large oval here across the top, and it is sideways. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw some curved lines coming down towards the bottom on either end of that oval. I'm making them curved because I want my mug to be more rounded, but of course you can make them straight if you'd prefer a taller mug. And whatever shape you choose for the sides of your mug, you're going to create that bottom line with just a really slight curve. I'm going to switch over to my marker now, and I'm just going to start by tracing over this top oval, which is the opening of our mug. We want the oval, so if you haven't already done it with a pencil, you want to make sure that it is quite wide from bottom to top so that it gives the illusion that we are standing above and looking down into our mug of cocoa. Make sure that as you come around the bottom, you do have a noticeable curve. And then coming around to the top or the back of our mug, we can make the curve just a little less exaggerated. So now that the inner rim of our mug is complete, I'm going to draw the outside lines. So coming just above that curve, I'm going to start to draw another line. And as I come down towards the left side here, I'm going to just slightly straighten and work my way around that curve coming towards the bottom of my page. So I've created now the first side edge of my mug. And you will see how this line is just a little bit away from our original oval. I'm going to continue going across the top and all the way down to the other side. Again, when I'm coming down on the right side, I'm going to leave a little bit of a space for my handle, but you can go ahead and just draw your lines all the way down if you can erase them at the end. Then once again, just to give our mug some shape, I'm going to make just a really slight curve as I connect both of these side edges. All right, now we're going to make the handle of our mug. So I'm going to come back to this space and I'm going to start with the inside edge of my handle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start just on top of the front of my mug here, so the part that's facing us, and I'm going to draw out a backward C that extends away from the edge and comes back to connect somewhere close to the bottom. So I'm trying to imagine that my hand could fit in there or that it makes sense relative to the size of my mug. Then I'm just going to create a little curve here that connects to the top of my opening, and I'm going to follow that same C curve just a little bit bigger and then tapering it a little bit closer as I come around to the bottom. So let's go ahead and add a little bit more dimension to our mug by creating a small line just in front or below the bottom of our oval. So I'm going to start just inside the outer edge, and I'm going to follow that same curve as I come across the bottom of the oval here, and I'm going to stop a little bit before the handle and just break the line just to give this sort of illusion of light and texture. Now we're going to add some decorations just across the top edge of our mug. I'm choosing diamonds, but you can do whatever you like. So the most important thing is that whatever shape you're choosing, it's going to sort of change angles as you move across that curve and come towards the other side of your mug. So for instance, with my diamonds, they're going to be slightly angled as if the point is almost always trying to point towards the middle of your mug, but not necessarily the middle of the front. Think about pointing towards the middle of the inside of your cup of cocoa. And then you're just going to take your shape, whatever you've chosen, and draw it all the way across. And if you come up to your handle and you feel like you don't have enough space, but at the same time you feel like you should add another piece of this decoration, go ahead and do so and just let it disappear under the handle, because the likelihood is that your pattern would probably wrap all the way around to the back of your mug as well. And I think I'm just going to add in some little dots just in between my diamonds. I feel like it just needs that little bit of extra. And then just before we move on, I'm going to add in some shrinking circles here just along the curve of my handle to give it a little bit of visual interest as well. So I am just drawing circles that are getting gradually smaller as I move down towards the tapered end of the handle. When you're satisfied with your mug decorations, we're going to move on to draw in our candy cane. So for myself, it's more natural to draw my candy cane from the top down. So I'm going to start with the inside curve, basically creating an upside down J or just a little hook that's starting above the top of my mug. And then I'm going to draw that straight line coming down and then just stopping somewhere within the cocoa part of our drawing. Then we'll go ahead and we'll draw the other side of our candy cane. I'm just going to start by creating a small curve to close off the hook. And then I'll draw a second line that just mirrors the first side or the inside edge of our candy cane coming back into the cocoa. And then I'm just going to close off the top here. So to finish the candy cane or make it look like it's actually in the cocoa, we're just going to draw a little wavy line that goes straight across and basically closes that open edge. To create the stripes in the candy cane, I'm going to start in the small hook part here and I'm going to angle the lines up towards the left-hand corner. And as I come around the top part of the curve, they will begin to straighten out and then essentially they're going to turn and start to face down towards the bottom right as I come down the length or the long part of the candy cane in towards the cocoa. And of course, what kind of hot cocoa doesn't have marshmallows? Definitely not mine. So I'm going to draw in a couple little marshmallows. And to do this, we'll start with just a small vertical line and then drawing a second one, however far away you want it to be, will determine how big your marshmallow is. Then you can connect these at the top with just a little curve. To create some shaping in our marshmallow, I'm going to come just within my outer edges here and I'm going to draw another curve that creates that little oval shape across the top. Then again, we'll draw the little wavy line underneath so it looks like he's floating. And then I'm going to draw another marshmallow just over beside this guy. And this one is going to be my lazy marshmallow. So I'm drawing my vertical lines and they're slightly tilted towards the right-hand corner. So the reason why I haven't made them both the same length is because I just want the bottoms of them to meet at the same point so I can create that wavy line beneath them. Then you'll connect them with a little curve across the top, and again for that shaping we'll create an opposite curve just inside our contour lines. Because everything's cuter with the face, I'm going to add some faces to my marshmallow, starting with my middle guy here. I'm just going to do a couple of little round eyes and just a basic little smile, so just a little U shape right in between. And my tilted marshmallow, he's the lazy one, so I'm going to draw some U shapes for eyes. They make him look a little sleepy, and this time I'll put a little circle for his mouth like he's yawning or just dreaming. And then the final thing that I'm going to add to this drawing is just a little saucer for my mug to be sitting on. So to do this, I'm just going to pick a point somewhere above the bottom edge of my mug, and I'm going to start coming out here at the left, just drawing a line slightly towards the left and starting to curve it down and then around, and I'm going to sweep that curve all the way under my mug, coming all the way over to the right hand side, and then I will close off the saucer here. What you want to do is just imagine that where it's touching on the left, that line carries through all the way behind your mug and will come out on the other side to close off the curve. If you want to add any decorations or details to your saucer, you can do so, but I'm going to just leave mine blank and then paint it in later. And for our final step, we're going to add in the face on our mug. So this is a really happy cup of cocoa here. So to draw some really happy eyes, I'm just going to do a big upside down U or rainbow shape over here on the left. And I usually make my faces a little bit closer to the bottom of my object. I just think it looks cuter. And keeping your eyes nice and spread apart. Then right in between, I'm going to create a small curve that's just tilting a little bit up towards the right side eye. And then from that corner, I'm going to create a small U underneath that comes about middle of the way across. Create a little curve inside for a tongue, and I'm just going to shade in behind there. If you'd like your cocoa to be extra steamy, you can draw some wavy lines just coming down from the top of your mug here. And otherwise, that is our cute little cup of cocoa. So thank you so much for drawing with me today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you did, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. And until next time for another Draw with Sandee, keep making art and keep smiling.